Hey guys, and welcome to episode 126 of the Upper LA podcast. My name is Scott Ellis. I'm joined here by Tim McGavick.
126.
126. What a great round number.
Yeah.
Also joining us is Tyler Spitowski.
126.
Yes.
My favorite number.
And Adam Franey.
I have a cold.
No one asked.
Good.
Let's run down some of the topics we're going to discuss on this week's episode. As usual, we're going to discuss the last film we watched this week. And usually we have a couple news topics. Today we got one big one. Disney bought Fox. At least a part of Fox.
Yeah.
I thought they bought...
No seats Fox.
The part that matters.
Yeah.
The part that really matters
Yeah.
The part that
to film fans. So we're going to get to that later. If you do enjoy this video, leave a like on it. Leave a comment below in the comment section as well. And of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel. With that out of the way, Tim, you start us off this week. What do you got for us this week? For last scene.
What could it be?
Last week or week before,
Yes. 2
Tyler
weeks ago.
last seen a movie
Yes.
that blew my mind with the cast. And I was like, I'm in. 2005.
Good
You guys
year.
know?
I got no idea.
Of course
Is
you
it the
don't.
movie you gave me?
The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
It was the movie you gave me.
Written by Douglas Adams. Did not realize he also wrote the script. And Carrie Kirkpatrick. Directed by one Garth Jennings. Based on the book by Douglas Adams.
Oh.
Starring Martin Freeman, Mos Def, Zoe Deschanel, Sam Rockwell, Alan Rickman, Stephen Fry, John Malkovich, Helen Mirren, and Bill Nighy, and a plethora of other British actors. So when Earth is destroyed to make room for an intergalactic highway, Arthur is saved by his alien friend Ford, and the two are pulled into a bizarre series of events that involves the president of the galaxy, poetry reciting aliens, a depressed robot, and a whale.
A whale, yes.
Crucial.
What'd you think of it?
This movie's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a good time.
It's not winning any huge awards.
No,
but
no.
It's a fun time though.
I love the practical stuff. Lots of practical aliens and stuff in it. It was like,
I remember.
what?
Yeah.
Mr. Dursley voices one of the said aliens.
Really?
Yes, Richard Griffiths.
Richard Griffiths.
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Rip.
So yeah, great practical effects. And then just everyone was just clearly having fun with it.
Yeah.
Sam Rockwell was just killing it as
Going ham.
Zaphod Beeblebrox.
Thank you.
Oh.
Zaphod Beeblebrox.
Yes.
Maxi Zoom
My boy.
Martin Freeman, classic, just does not want to be involved
Whatever's
in this
going on.
adventure.
Classic Bilbo.
Classic
Yeah.
Bilbo.
Classic John Watson.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just along for the ride.
Yeah, does not want to be there, does not understand why he's there against everything going on.
Yeah.
Classic.
Love it.
Mos Def's
Myself.
Mos Def has a weird acting style. I feel like his acting is pretty much the same in every single movie, and it's kind of alien. He's kind of always just kind of
He's off a
a
bit.
little bit offbeat.
Is he human?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is he human? He might not be.
Not British.
Oh shit, my phone broke. Never mind. And yeah, I don't
What
know why
did you
this.
like about it? Is there anything?
It's like a heavy 3.
It's a
And I
comedy.
think it's
right.
because it's a comedy. No,
Classic
it's just
Tim.
it's I don't know what I didn't like about it. It's just it's very early 2000s.
Yeah.
In
So
what
there's-
way? What do you mean by early 2000s?
I don't know, man. It's just
They look dated in a way.
it's a little bit dated, I
Yeah.
think.
Is it?
A little bit.
Mhm.
And then just kind of just the meandering
Meandering.
the meandering of the plot
Right.
is it's fine.
You find that often in slice of life movies.
This is a slice of life movie.
Interesting.
So
So
I
you're
did like it.
giving it a heavy 3.
Every 3, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Nothing
Heavy 3.
glaring, bad about it or anything like that. It's just it's fun. It's a fun little movie.
Fun little romp.
Fun little romp.
Fun romp, most definitely.
Alan Rickman was hilarious.
Oh, so good. Rip again.
His
Depressed
best
robot
role.
Marvin.
He's great.
So
He's
funny.
great.
Awesome.
One of my favorite actors of all time.
Great.
Tyler, what do you got for us this week?
Probably be prepared. So a little note for you guys. I woke up at 9 this morning.
Yep.
In a hungover state, and
Much like every morning.
yeah, usually every morning, or I'm still drunk, but not today. Today was one of the bad days. I was hungover.
Cut to the chase.
Yeah, I woke up, realized I didn't have a movie yet. I hadn't seen anything. So I'm looking through my collection, and I stumbled across a movie that I had not seen.
A breezy flick.
Yeah, it was 82
Quick
minutes.
flick.
82 minutes, which is a really good length.
It's almost as short.
And I didn't want to give anything away, but I can say this now because it's my turn. It's also, funny enough, I gave you Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yeah.
You gave me this movie.
Oh.
You figured out what it is?
No.
You haven't? No idea?
No idea.
Okay. I can't really
You
say
must have
much.
bored it quite a time
I
ago.
have an idea, but I think it's going to be wrong.
Okay, wow. Oh, okay, it's all gone. Oh, there it is. An urbane fox.
That's what I thought. That's Mr. Fox.
Cannot resist returning to his farm
Right.
raiding ways and then must help his community survive the farmer's retaliation.
Okay. Just tell me it's a 5, and we're good.
This movie's only 82 minutes?
82 minutes.
short.
Yeah.
It's like a short.
Surprising.
Yeah.
It's like 3 hours.
Yeah, huge, pretty good cast.
Crazy cast.
George Clooney, Meryl Streep, Bill Murray, Jason Schwartzman looks a lot like Anthony Kiedis in that photo.
Quite a bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Great
And then I don't know
football
who the rest of these people are. Well, Michael Gambon. I knew that one.
Gambon.
I don't know those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Willem Dafoe, that's
Yeah.
right. Owen Wilson.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty much it.
Wow.
Wes Anderson.
Wow.
Oh, that's right, Wes Anderson. Oh, he looks weird.
He's a weasel.
Yeah, he looks creepy. So just a fun fact. This
I don't
is
like
my
that noise.
second. This is my second Wes Anderson film.
Baffling.
Yes.
Yeah.
What was the first?
Grand Budapest.
He
which
loves it.
Which I 5'd.
Yeah.
I'm putting this out right now. Not a 5. Not
You're
a
wrong
5.
about that.
You love animated foxes. They don't do it for me for some reason. You do love. You have this weird affection for animated
I
foxes.
do love Robin Hood as well as Zootopia.
Zootopia. This not a 5, and I don't know what it was. I think that for me, I think the problem was right away is they jump right into it. There's no backstory to anything. It just kind of jumps in and they just go. It's all very surface level. There's not much going on in the background. It's just what's going on. It's what you see is what's going on. And I feel like I'm defending.
It's really
my-
slice of
my-
life.
It's
like
it
a slice
kind
of slice of fox life.
It kind of was, but there's a point like you knew what was going on. Like,
Life.
so I don't know. It just wasn't a 5 for me for some reason.
Really?
It didn't grab me. I did definitely get the Wes Anderson vibe though.
Oh, it's very Wes
You
Anderson.
got the
Yeah.
Wes Anderson vibe.
Yeah,
You're in
like
full Anderson.
Go
yeah,
ahead.
it was good.
100%.
Like I enjoyed it. I thought George Clooney was like for some reason like perfect for this.
Yes.
Like I loved him as the fox. I thought he was great.
Not enough Johnny Depp, perhaps?
There was no Johnny Depp.
So not enough for you.
Exactly.
So yeah, not enough Johnny Depp.
And I know you have a rule. Ain't no Johnny D, ain't no 5.
Yeah, that's a very good rule. Actually, that is the unspoken rule.
Right.
But yeah, there's just something
I've
about
said
it that just didn't make it. Something about it just didn't make it a 5 though. But it was like the animation was great. Like it looked like was
Oh,
this like
shit.
it was looked like it was shot like in a way that was stop motion.
It's full stop motion. You're
Really?
correct, yes.
This
Are you
entire
kidding me?
this
Yes.
was stop
It's
motion.
stop motion, yes.
That was so cool.
They're like foot tall
100%
puppets.
stop
that
Really?
like, move, took a picture,
And
move,
they're-
took a picture, move, took a picture.
You know,
That is so cool.
I love that.
Thousands of
You,
hours.
The entire
you didn't
movie.
even know that.
Well, no, it looked like it seemed like that. Like it was an anim. Like they what did it was they animated it and then
To
like
look like
made it
that?
look like it was stop motion.
Right.
I didn't think they would do like that's incredible.
I'm sure that
Isle
people that worked on it
Isle
love
of
that.
Dogs is also
Stop
stop motion, yes.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I love it. That was like I think that was like the best part for me was like watching that. I was like, it just looks so
Yeah.
cool.
Apparently the animators hated working with them.
Of course.
Or whatever you would call them.
Well, he's so particular about things. Like his scenes and all the
Oh,
sets
yeah.
are always like
Yeah.
Precise.
crisp and pristine.
Yeah.
I heard something, I can't remember what it was. I think they like wanted to sue him or they, something bad came from it because he was like,
Overworking them or something.
yeah, he just like grinded them.
That's crazy.
But like it
It worked.
shows,
It was
looks amazing.
yeah, it was beautiful. I wish there was a little more depth to it. You know, it was just it seemed like it was all very surface level.
Isn't it?
to me.
It's a heist movie, is it not? Isn't it like a heist?
Yeah.
Not really. It's more like the repercussions of a heist movie. It's not like it's not the actual. It doesn't like based around a heist. I don't think.
I remember it being hilarious. Like
I remember loving it.
I did.
I was
love-
cackling. There was like a or no, there was like a. I don't know if it was a badger or like the neighbor or whatever.
Yeah,
Bill Murray.
Just I forget. It was like his facial expressions.
it was his
Oh, the possum.
the possum.
Was
whatever.
it? Yeah,
And he would just like stare blankly.
yes.
That
Like,
cracked
are you
me
even
up.
listening to me?
like give me some sort of emotion.
Give me some sorry.
He just like puts his hand up.
I know they say swear instead of swearing. They
Cuss.
say the word.
It's a cuss, yeah.
Cuss.
And
Right.
there was another thing that I just thought was super like when he does certain things like a certain way like you don't expect it for him like the fox to like act this way like he gets pancakes from his wife, and then, like she puts the pancakes down, and he goes, puts a napkin, and goes, just like shovels it all into his mouth. He goes, "Okay, honey, I'm going to work now." He gets up like it was nothing, and like that, just I laughed so hard at that.
Yeah.
So it's just like little moments like that where you forget like he's still a fox, right? So they chose little things to show like he was still a wild animal, which he references a couple times.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, it was just it just felt like it was kind of
Fine.
flat, like okay for me.
What are you hitting with?
Probably gonna hit this with a heavy 3.
Heavy 3.
Yeah.
It's too low.
Did this win?
Top 10 of all time.
Animated? No?
Yeah.
It did, right?
Yes.
I thought
Holy
it did.
fuck.
Best animated feature Oscar?
Get Johnny Depp and we'll talk.
Rango, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Also best animated feature.
Well, Adam, what do you got for us this week?
Pull a Ty Svitalski here.
Oh boy.
Oh, no.
And not in a bad way.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
We got 2 options, boys.
I was gonna do that as well. That one.
This one?
Yeah.
This one.
Scott.
Oh shit, this one.
Now throw that one away and go with the other one.
What?
This
Tim
two
and
goes for
Scott,
best-
and
best-
I went with this one.
2-1?
Yeah. Throw that one away and go with that one. Classic Tyler move. There it is!
We got,
That's not the one you fucked it up. But okay.
fuck it.
You forgot.
The one I threw away was Spaceballs. To tie into The Last
How the
Jedi.
fuck did you throw that out? That's so
Didn't like it.
It's fair, yeah.
Thought it was really bad.
good. You didn't like Spaceballs?
I feel like
No.
Spaceballs would be very dated.
It's very dated.
And
It's
like
fucking
you
hilarious.
have I haven't seen it. But I feel like you'd have to watch it with
Should I
like
just
people in
do
order to...
Spaceballs?
No, it's fine.
They
Well,
were, like when they were combing the desert. Are you kidding me? Fucking priceless.
that was funny. Yes. Speaking of fine, First They Killed My Father,
No.
Is that the name of it?
2017, Angelina Jolie directed, getting best foreign film buzz at the old Big O.
Ask us.
Ask us.
The Askies. The Askies. The most prestigious award. Sorry. Cambodian author and human rights activist Lung Ung recounts the horrors.
Sorry, who was that?
Lung Ung
Thank you.
recounts the horrors she suffered as a child under the rule of the deadly Mer Rouge.
Sorry, can I hit the name one more time?
Mer Rouge.
Thank you. And the first one?
Murder.
Lung Ung.
Mm.
It's Cambodian. Like I said, directed by Angelina Jolie, co-written by the Lung Ung and Angelina Jolie.
Oh.
Yeah, very fine little film.
Is this like the Beast of No Nation of this year?
Yeah, but I like Beast of No Nation quite a bit more. I love Beast of No Nation.
Different.
Very
I'm not
sim-
saying that in a bad way. I'm saying similar, like Kid in the
Extremely.
War Zone. Kid in
It
the War
is.
Zone.
It's a Netflix original.
Also Netflix.
Kid in a War Zone. It was
Different.
It was interesting that it felt a little bit until the climax. It felt very watered down. It's not very brutal. For Beast of No Nation, I remember being quite brutal. And I think it's because she wrote it through. You know, when you're a kid, everything's sort of like sugar coated to their
Right,
point of view.
shielded.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got that. Yeah, I think Angelina Jolie really communicated like to the viewer that you're through the kid's perspective,
Right.
right? Like they don't see, like you don't see her like family ever really get hurt or anything like that, or people close to her. They just kind of like get taken away, and it's almost like she believes like the excuse that she's given, like, oh, we're taking, you know, this person to go help build this bridge, like way off in the field. Like, obviously, we know that they're going to die, but they never really show any of that, which was interesting. I don't know if it made out for the best movie because it wasn't that like as impactful. Like I feel like you need the violence for it to be impactful, right? It was pretty beautiful. I mean, it was a 4K watch, so I might get a little bit of a boost for that. Those greens were green. Let me tell you.
Those
Cambodia?
colors were popping.
Oh, the colors.
Oh, colors?
This man enjoys a color or two.
Oh.
You gotta come by and see the 4K.
It's like a drugs.
It's
Colors.
the colors will fuck you. Yeah, it's fine. The climax put it over like middle of the road, like just kind of gave it the pass for me because shit hits the fan. There is some artillery that gets brought out, some
Literally?
landmines. Yes.
Okay.
Some landmines go off.
I was watching the
If you will.
Is it Variety? The roundtable discussions of the directors, and Angelina Jolie was talking about how during the filming of this, there was like a sequence, like a day that they were shooting, like in Cambodia, like they're shooting these like explosions going off, like they keep, she's like, she's just shooting it, like directing it like it's a normal like thing, but like there's all these extras that are like Cambodian, and like there were people there that like their relatives were like went through that,
Traumatized.
and it was like a little bit intense, and they had to like, they went to Angelina and they're like telling her that how like there's a little bit more going on here, like, and they're like okay, shut the like set down, and they like all like sat around and said like a prayer and stuff, and like it made it all more like
Shit, that's sick.
impactful a little bit
Really?
on the set, because like it was like they shot it like right there, and like the pretty much same locations where these things were happening, and was like, fuck, it was like a little intense.
It's the sort of childlike innocence is removed in that scene that she's referring to. Shit hits the fan, and there's some nice practical animals for sure, which is always nice. Some nice snake.
Foxes?
No,
I'm out.
Yeah.
snake gets skinned alive.
Oh,
and
okay.
eaten,
Nice.
cut up. It's repulsive.
Oh.
That was cool.
Going full Cannibal Holocaust.
Yeah, chicken too. Yeah, it was an important movie. I'm glad it got made. I just don't think Angelina Jolie's necessarily like the best director. I think she's just very, I don't know, very middle of the road, almost Ron Howard-esque.
I was gonna say she did
Yeah.
Ron Howard.
Well, is it like lack of style, you think?
Yeah,
She doesn't have a way of directing.
Yeah, movies look very
Yeah.
bland. Whenever I see trailers, I'm like, this is not intriguing.
like
Yeah.
you never know that you're watching an Angelina Jolie movie.
Yeah.
Like I had no, like it could have been directed by anyone.
Could have been directed by Ron Howard.
Yeah, there's no fingerprints.
Yeah.
Which I thought there would be, because it's a personal story to her. I know I heard her say she did it because of her son. Maddox is Cambodian. She wanted to she felt that personal connection, wanted to show him what his relatives went through. But yeah, it just felt sort of textbook. Give it the old 3-banger. 3 out of 5.
Wow.
3.
Savage.
Oscar buzz. 3.
Get hype. Best foreign film winner, probably.
The
Scott.
Square. Let's be honest.
Can't wait to see it.
I'm gonna jump in with my last scene. I watched a little flick. Funny you mentioned Spaceballs, because I watched a little Mel Brooks film, not Spaceballs.
What the fuck?
I watched Young Frankenstein,
Shit.
starring Gene Wilder, Peter Boyle. You guys might know from Everybody Loves Raymond.
Dad, yeah.
The dad.
Oh, jeez.
I was shocked when I saw him in this. I'm like, is that
It's Peter Boyle.
the guy from Everyone Loves Raymond?
Probably.
Marty Feldman, who plays Igor, not Igor. There's a
Igor?
obvious distinction. Yes.
His eyes are quite bulbous.
Yeah, he's got the he's doing the oh my God, what's his name? The Steve Buscemi from Mr.
Yeah.
Deeds.
Crazy eyes.
Except that's what he
cigarette.
actually looks like.
Yeah.
Oh.
I love Steve Buscemi.
And Terry Garr.
Terry.
Gene Wilder plays Dr. Frederick Frankenstein.
Frankenstein.
There's a clear distinction there. It's not Frankenstein. It's Frankenstein. Okay. Basically, he plays the grandson of Frankenstein, who's trying to prove that he's like a serious scientist, like doctor, but he ends up getting his sort of the estate reverts back to him, so he moves to Transylvania, the original like castle.
Now,
And,
with a name like Frankenstein and being played by Gene Wilder, I have to ask: is he Jewish in the movie? Frankenstein. That's got a bit of a Jewish twist on it.
I don't think that was
It's also Gene Wilder,
mentioned.
who's like the top 5 greatest Jews of all time.
Gene,
It wasn't really acknowledged.
Really?
Sorry, Tyler.
That he was Jewish or not.
That's a shame.
But
Okay, just thought I'd
well,
ask.
the idea is that he doesn't want to be associated with his grandfather's Frankenstein's
Sure.
legacy.
Yeah.
So he wants people to call him by Frankenstein.
He was looking for
Because
minority
he's a-
representation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just throwing it
And
out there.
I like
yeah.
it.
this movie was good. It was again. It's like it's very fine. It's,
Yeah.
have you seen it?
I saw this in grade 8, I think.
Oh,
probably.
wow.
Yeah.
Holy
It's been a
fuck, when
while.
it came out?
30 years ago, that's crazy.
And it has this like classic
Got it.
monster movie like sort of influence, like clearly, because obviously being based on Frankenstein. And interestingly enough, they used the same practical sets and props from the original Frankenstein movie
That's cool.
in this. For
It's
like
filmed in black and white too, right?
it is in black and white, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they were able to like shoot it with the scenes where they're at the castle with all the props. They used the same props as the
No way.
original Frankenstein. I thought
Oh.
that was pretty cool.
That's pretty neat.
Gene Wilder's great. I mean, he's very likable, you
Yeah.
know, and he's pretty hilarious.
He's young in this, right? Like he's
I don't have the
30s,
year. It's like
40s,
in the
somewhere around
70s.
30s
And
maybe? Like he was like around
He looked about 40.
yeah.
It's probably about
okay.
40.
I think I've seen this.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just it was good.
Yeah.
It was good. I just love. There's this one scene. It's probably what I remember the most of it. The putting on the Ritz scene. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh, and Frankenstein's like dressing up and stuff?
Basically Frankenstein. He brings the monster out, and he's
Yeah,
trying to
I
prove
remember this.
that the monster is like he's good. He's like he has motor skills. He can do stuff. Right. He's not just like a dead zombie. And he proves that he can like walk forward and walk backwards and all this stuff. And he's like, okay, we got one more thing. And he brings the monster out again. He's got a tux on and a top hat. And they do putting on the Ritz, this like Fred Astaire
Yeah.
song. They're like dancing around and the monster
Like,
is singing.
Was it akin to the John Hurt alien stomach burster in Spaceball doing the "Hello, my baby"? Hello, that was
That I literally
I admit I lost my mind at that. That was the funniest,
that was like
one of the funniest.
that's a
jokes.
knee slapper. right
Actually,
there.
John Hurt. I don't know if you remember.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh my
Fuck.
god.
He's like, not again.
Jesus.
Oh my god, I just remembered that from Spaceballs. That's fucking amazing.
Yep. That fucked me
But just
up.
the
Hello,
like the sort of the chorus of the song, it's like there's like a pause and it's like putting on the Ritz and
Dun, 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 dun,
he
dun.
pauses and the monster goes put on the Ritz. And it's just because he can't speak normally, right? So he does.
Mel knew how to do show tunes.
It
Wow.
was,
Amazing.
I started cackling when I saw it. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
I
And
almost lost my coffee. I almost went right across it.
Sounds like Don Cherry almost.
pretty much. And there was another scene where, like, you guys, I don't know if you guys have seen the original Frankenstein, but,
No.
eventually the monster escapes, and then there's sort of like a family that lives in the countryside, and
Okay.
he has an interaction with them.
Seen Alvin and the
Who knows
Chipmunks.
what I'm getting to. And there's this scene with this little girl, and there's a seesaw, basically, and she sits on it, and she's, like, talking to the monster, and sort of humanizing him a little bit. And she sits on one side of it and points to the other side to the monster, and he's like, okay, yeah, I'll do the seesaw. Sits on it, and then meanwhile her parents are like, where's the kid? Where's the kid? Like, did you check upstairs? Did you check? And they run upstairs, and right as the monster like sits on it and like launches her, like it's like a catapult, and launches her through the window, and she just hits her bed, and then the sheets fall over, and her parents walk in. I don't know, just it was pretty funny. But yeah, I mean, with all Mel Brooks movies, it's like just the humor. I don't know, it's very distinct. It's very Mel Brooks, like super like punny.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's funny, but overall, I'd say Young Frankenstein. I'm gonna give it a heavy 3. It's solid. It's not, I amazing by any means. I don't like it as much as Spaceballs, which I think is hilarious.
Ouch. Very
Um,
dad jokey.
yeah, that's why I love it.
It's like pure dad humor.
I love it.
Oh no.
So yeah, Young Frankenstein. Check it out.
Schwartz.
Let's move on. We got one
Fringe.
big piece of news that came out this week.
Big chunk of news.
Disney bought a big chunk of Fox,
Entertainment.
including 20th Century Fox,
Mm.
all their film and TV assets,
Mm.
some sports too.
Really?
A little bit of sports. Their
What?
share in Hulu.
Yep.
Shit.
Hulu.
There's something else I'm missing. There's
Got
some other
absorbed.
part that I'm missing.
They bought
Sky?
Yeah, Sky, and then there's also they
Skynet.
bought some stuff from India, I
Skynet.
believe, some like India studios as well that does like major productions in India and
Right. Okay.
that part of the world.
Interesting.
Bollywood.
Interesting.
Yeah, pretty much Bollywood stuff. Yeah.
Now, what people, and it's funny because the 20th Century Fox and the film and TV assets is like almost like a quarter of all the assets they bought. So there's all this other stuff going on. They paid about, what was it, 54 billion?
52.4.
52 billion, and they inherited $13 billion of debt.
Interesting.
So
That's
it's
a lot of
60. So, but they bought out the debt, so it was like 64 billion when it was all said and done, or something like that.
Yeah.
crazy.
Insane.
But it's also Disney, so that's gone now.
The interesting thing for us as film fans is the film and the TV rights.
Yes. Mhm.
This impacts a lot of the current franchises as well. What were some of the ones, Tim, you mentioned that interesting left Disney now owns, like Avatar? What else?
They own Avatar. They also own the distribution rights to the first Star Wars for the first time. So we might see the original cuts being released finally.
Oh,
They now own Deadpool, X-Men, Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
That,
Oof.
yep.
Planet of the
Mhm,
Apes.
Planet of the Apes.
Predator.
Predator.
You said Avatar?
Terminator?
No.
No.
Alien.
Whole bunch of stuff. Insane what they own now.
Crazy.
Craziness.
It's
Crazy.
fucking
Absolutely
crazy.
insane.
Let's talk about something specific, because what a lot of people are discussing is how specifically like X-Men, Deadpool, Fantastic Four, how
It seems
that's
like-
going to fit in with the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
What are your guys' thoughts on this? Tyler, let's start with you.
It seems like they really they bought Fox, and for some reason, all anyone can talk about is how now they own certain Marvel rights. Like the other stuff is yes, it's important, but no one's actually talking about
It's like,
that.
yeah, they own The Simpsons. Yeah, they own Family
Yeah, they
Guy.
own all this shit, but
That's
then
fucking crazy.
but no one's talking about it. They're only talking about the Marvel parts of
Because
it.
it's going to be huge money.
It's just going to be massive.
Well, the Marvel movies are a huge part of pop culture these days,
Yeah.
so it's something that people are thinking about.
Yeah.
How are these gonna mesh? Because currently they're competing in their own universes. Are they gonna mesh? Are they gonna try and bring them in, or what do you guys think?
I think they're going to have to.
Someone I can't remember who was that said it. Was someone from Disney came out and said that they want the Marvel characters now that they own to be part of the MCU. So I think that we're definitely going to see this.
I mean, the existing Fox,
the existing
Marvel characters.
Well, they didn't say that specifically. They said they want to bring the Fantastic Four and the X-Men into the MCU. They didn't say specifically if they wanted to keep casting or the stories that they've done. They said that they want to bring those characters.
Here's my
into
assumption. They're going to keep Ryan Reynolds because
Oh,
he's
for
making
sure.
coin.
Yeah,
Recast X-Men because each movie's kind of made less money than the previous one.
yeah.
And Fantastic Four is just a write-off.
Oh, fuck.
And it's interesting timing considering the next phase of the Marvel universe. You got Tony Stark, who is not Tony Stark. Robert Downey Jr. His contract's up soon. Chris Evans' contract is up soon. So they need heroes to replace these people.
In the future,
They've just got
the
X-Men
road.
and Fantastic Four now, just to
Yeah.
we can just put in 4 X-Men in this one, and next time we'll just expand it to maybe 8 X-Men and just.
Well, what if can they tie in now? We've seen Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, right?
I would just scrap that whole
You think
Fox
so?
universe. Yeah, there's no point in keeping
yeah,
that.
I don't think they would. They
cut
would
it.
keep the existing characters.
No, I mean in Marvel. I think that they'll try and in the Disney side. We've got Quicksilver, who's unfortunately no longer with us. Rest
Yes.
in peace.
Yes.
Okay, if you haven't seen the Avengers, you're an idiot.
So they're not going to bring in the other Quicksilver because they're actually the same character, right?
Yeah.
They both have the rights.
Do you think they're gonna bring in like Magneto as their father and shit like that? Like, do you think that they're gonna try and wrap that around?
Might as well, yeah.
I don't know. I think one of the other things that was brought up about this was a lot of people being, maybe not so excited about it because it's sort of limiting the types of movies that we're getting. Because Fox right now is sort of going out on a limb and doing like R-rated movies. Oh God! Woo.
Bless you, my son.
With Logan, Deadpool, right? They're going, and especially in, like New Mutants, where it's like a horror movie and it's like R, right? Is it R? But it's a horror movie, regardless. They're messing with genre, where the MCU right now is very specific.
MCU is their own genre.
The tone, right? So, does that limit the sort of types of creative movies that we can get now?
Yeah, dude.
And one thing I'll speculate is they might keep, 20th Century Fox, maybe rename it as something else, but keep it separate from, there's Marvel Studios, there's Lucasfilm, there's Pixar.
Yeah.
Have it as this other, like Fox Searchlight, like something, its own separate thing that can make more adult-oriented movies. That, because Disney is... Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
They need
Disney is PG, right? Disney has to be PG.
Get their hands in.
That is, they have an image, right? But they have done some R-rated movies through other. I'm blanking on. I think they do own another. Was it Miramax that they, or there was some other studio that they released movies with?
Well, I can't remember. I can't. Don't quote me on who said this, but there was someone did not. It could be anyone for all I know.
It's just what you need.
There was a quote that said that they do want to continue. They like what they like. Deadpool is going to come out as R. That like they came out and said that.
I read that too. Yeah.
So, but another quote that I saw is that they're going to keep it as an R rating, but what they want to do is they want to have R-rated superhero movies because they recognize how well they're doing. So we could see Deadpool come into the MCU, and then we could just get like fourth wall bleeps and stuff like that, and it like to that way like maintain. You don't think that'd be funny?
Doesn't fit in the established universe. We'll say that.
Yeah, but I just but they did say that they wanted to continue to do R-rated superhero films.
Now, Adam, I want to get your thoughts. You've been quiet this whole time.
Specifically,
what are your thoughts on this? Do you have any thoughts you've been brewing in your head about this? What are your thoughts?
I've waited my whole life since a child to see X-Men and Avengers and everybody in one movie, so that's awesome. Like, when I think about like the 12-year-old me, I'm just like, damn, I never thought I'd see the day where they would get Spider-Man, let alone X-Men and Fantastic Four. It's great. I would really love to see Hugh Jackman reprise the role for Infinity War. I know he said he didn't want to, but
he wants to see a new.
That even makes sense.
Yeah, he said.
How would it even make sense? You guys do some real
retcon
narrative gymnastics to make it work.
But
Tom Hardy?
I would love to see it though.
Venom, you mean?
For what? Oh, as Wolverine.
Yeah, as Wolverine.
Oh.
We've seen the art.
Well, I mean, he's Venom, so
yeah, we could have a character play two. Not one actor play two characters.
They're not in the same universe now.
It's happened.
You're not gonna have
Venom's not in the same universe.
Right.
Fuck you,
I guess.
Technically.
Anyway,
it's still a bit too close.
It's a little out there.
It's too close.
It's not like they could tie it around.
I don't know. It'd be cool. I'm very interested to see what they do with Dark Phoenix. I'd like to see, like, that's shooting, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, like see how much.
Are they going to shut this movie down? Are they going to release this movie?
I think it's still going on. It's still going to be released.
Because I read that Fassbender and J Law and James McAvoy and all them signed one picture deals. So like if they're all done,
it might be done after Dark Phoenix. Like that might be it for the X-Men that we know right now.
It's so interesting to me. It's like I don't know. Do you think they're gonna infuse them into MCU?
Here's the thought. I don't think they know. I don't think Disney knows yet.
I think Disney's got
I
plans.
think
Feige
there's-
must know. Feige always knows what he wants to do.
Like he's had these plans before, like before they even considered buying Fox.
He might have thought he's obviously been
how he would
thinking
do
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
No,
I don't
he's
know if
got
they
an idea.
fully know yet
Yeah.
what to do, because it's like all of a sudden they have all this wealth of sort
Yeah,
of
like they've been doing the MCU for
options.
10 years, and they're running low on new characters to use, and then now all of a sudden they have full access to X-Men.
everything now.
Everything minus Spider-Man, and Spider-Man's still being rented.
And they still have.
They can still use them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe like I can see them not bringing in Deadpool because he doesn't really fit. Might as well keep him as his own
I
separate
like to see him in
operating world.
Infinity War.
But-
doesn't fit at all.
I'd love to see him just like walk like in them to be like the middle of an intense like shot. You know how like they do that shot where they circle around them, they're looking pretty intense and they go and fight. Just have like just Deadpool just walk by in the background, just like as if like nothing's going on. Just like stroll by with his swords out and just doing nothing.
I'd love a post-credits zinger with Deadpool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would replace the Stan Lee cameos with Deadpool cameos at the
Yes.
end.
Oh yeah.
Just an R-rated.
Yeah,
cameo.
hilarious.
Well, what's the rating it has to be in order to get the one fuck? Like what's
PG.
PG. You
PG?
can get- you can,
So-
PG-13. Can you get 2 fucks?
You get one for
That
You
costs
get
extra.
1 fuck.
for PG-13.
One
yeah.
fuck, and then your R.
Yeah.
That's all it takes.
Not
Well, yeah,
personally.
A single
but-
fuck.
No, just the
One
just
fuck
the
up.
one.
Just
Unless-
from, like,
unless
a-
you have a coupon.
Just from like an MCU point of view and where they're at, makes sense for them to recast X-Men and recast Fantastic Four and
Yeah.
Oh.
make it their own and be like,
I
this
can't-
is
I wouldn't keep
phase
any
3 and
cast.
4
The
or
only-
phase 4 of MCU's now X-Men, Fantastic Four.
Well, I read something interesting. One, not super meaningful. They just said, or like a report that they're itching to recast Wolverine, like they're salivating to or something was the word. And the other being that there'd be so many movies in production and coming out now under Disney that it ups the bar for what would get a theatrical release, and maybe we'd see like full-on X-Men films go straight to their Disney's new streaming service, almost like a Netflix original movie of like whatever, like these new big budget Netflix movies. They're saying maybe we'll see like $200 million X-Men movies or Deadpool or whatever straight to this Disney service.
I couldn't see them doing that.
No?
No.
I think they'd be shooting themselves in the
Interesting.
foot if they did that. Like
Just the amount of money that
if
they
they
can
go
make from.
if they go
theatrical
wide,
releases.
they're making way more.
Well, it'd be a good way to get people to sign on.
I
to
think
this
that's where-
streaming service.
You know, they could do TV shows though. You know, like do an X-Men show, right? X-Men is
Like Star Wars.
perfect for, and obviously the Star Wars TV show. That's where obviously they're going to get a lot of viewers on that. A lot
Well,
of
just
eyes
Disney
on
in
that.
general. I feel like if Disney says they're opening a streaming service, like
yeah.
they own. I read a stat. They own 27% of the film industry now because of this
Fuck.
purchase.
Really?
So yeah, like that's insane. So just the fact that Disney has a streaming service, like who's not going to sign up for a Disney streaming service when they own that much of the market?
Hopefully Canada, we don't get screwed here in Canada.
Yeah.
We can actually sign up for it. That'd be
Fingers
nice.
crossed.
I'm
Double
sure they'll
Pirate
make
it.
it
Not available in your country. That would
They
suck.
will let me
HBO Go,
pay for it.
don't have it.
I'll-
Hulu, don't have it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Amazon
We don't have
Prime
Hulu?
streaming? Do we have Amazon Prime streaming?
No.
Yeah, we
Nope.
do.
We do.
We do?
Yes, yes.
I have it.
I literally have it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I know.
I'm
Yeah.
clicking on the wrong link.
It's amazing.
I do think though, like it does seem like it's a lot on Disney's plate with all these movies. Like they're already ramped up their production on a lot of different movies. How are they going to be able to manage now? They have all these Fox movies that are like in production right now or in development. Like how are they going to manage all that? And I do think they probably maintain some, like I was saying earlier, some separate entity, some additional entity that
That'd be
will release
smart.
these other movies. And I think it probably makes sense, like you guys say, to reboot the X-Men proper
Yeah.
Mhm.
and have that tie into the future MCU, like phase whatever. I don't even know what phase we're in right now. Phase 4?
I think we're in 3 and we're going into 4.
Yeah.
Phase 4 and beyond.
Yeah.
It makes sense to reboot them as, you know, they went the kid route, the young adult route in the latest movies. I could see them going back to what the original X-Men movie was and having them be more like adult age. Like what we would imagine the X-Men to be
Yeah.
at age, like 20s, 30s, and have them do that. But what they clearly like is, you know, the Deadpool and the Logans and that sort of thing. I could see them continuing the Deadpool thing, you know, because X-Force is in development, and all
That's
these
right.
other, you know, Deadpool Cable stuff going on.
Forgot about
I
that.
could see them continuing along that road
Oh, Deadpool.
with those more B
Oh,
characters
Josh Brolin now?
and X-Force characters. I could see them sort of going that road, right?
Yeah, it makes
And
sense.
sort of bringing in some characters that way, and maybe sort of tangentially connecting them somehow. I-
Well, I'm excited for Doctor Doom, like specifically, because he's such a good character. Like he's got like such a rich history to him. So
They've already used my casting of Mads.
That's right.
Mm.
They did.
Shout out to episode 6 that we did.
When did they use him for?
We used Mads Mikkelsen in Doctor Strange.
Oh, that's
I
right.
see that
Yeah.
episode. I'm sure that was one.
It's one of our most viewed, yeah.
Yeah.
Or is our most viewed?
Yeah.
And is
Not
there
as much as
anything,
our Fantastic Four. Yeah.
anything more you guys want to
That's
add to
what
this?
That's about all I got.
That's right.
That's all you got? Anything really?
Yeah, I think I read that. You just made the light bulb go off that they were gonna let like Fox, whoever was at Fox, continue what they're doing, but be a creative consultant. Like Feige would have final cut.
Interesting.
So should be interesting to say the least. I wanna
Fingers
see
crossed.
Fantastic Four done right.
We'll just have to wait and see, right, Scott?
We'll have to wait and see when these movies come out.
Movies come out, man.
Well, I think that'll do it for this episode of the Upper Late Podcast. Tim, where can people find us?
People can find us on Twitter at UpReal8. And you can find me personally on Letterboxd at UpRealTim and on Instagram at TheCraftPundit.
You can find us on Facebook and on Instagram at Up Real Late Podcast. You can also find me on Letterboxd at Up Real Ty.
Nice. You can find me, Adam, on Twitter at Franny25 and on Instagram and Letterboxd at UpRealAdam.
Find myself, Scott, on Letterboxd at UpRealScott. And yeah, guys, if you do like this video, leave a like on it. Leave a comment below in the comment section if you want to join our discussion. And of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And as always, keep it real.